Straight ahead on CCX News, a message local police hope to get across.
To show these young adults what our job really is.
Plus, why scammers are targeting seniors and what you need to know if you've been scammed. And
who wants to sit home when you're older?
A group of volunteers who make a Brooklyn Center mega sale happen. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We'll have those stories for you in just a moment. But first, police are looking for an armed robber who held up a Subway sandwich shop in Crystal.
Investigators from the Crystal Police Department say the Subway at the Crystal Shopping Center was robbed just before midnight on Tuesday. Nobody was injured in the incident. Police aren't releasing any suspect information at this time, but investigators say they're working with good leads.
As we went to air Wednesday evening, a murder suspect who lives in Brooklyn Park remained on the loose. A nationwide arrest warrant is out for this man, 41-year-old Philip LeRon Miller. He's accused of murdering a St. Louis Park man at an apartment in Columbia Heights. Miller has a lengthy criminal history in Illinois. He's about 5 feet 7 inches tall with a medium build, loosely braided hair and tattoos on his arm and hand. If you see him, call 911.
According to new crime numbers released by Hennepin County, there's a significant uptick in violent crime so far this year. During the first 3 months of 2017, there's a substantial increase in rapes and business robberies, with rapes up 43% and business robberies up 25%. There's also an increase in property crimes. Residential burglaries are up 10% so far this year.
North Hennepin Community College was the site of a law enforcement workshop today.
A Robbinsdale pastor put on the event, hoping that students will pursue careers as police officers, deputy sheriffs, or FBI agents. We get more from Eric Nelson.
We're absolutely building bridges out here to show these young adults what our job really is.
Become the Force was the theme of this workshop that focused on breaking down barriers between police and the community.
We are connecting with kids and we are making a difference here.
Career Expo was organized by Pastor Harding Smith.
We are trying to reach more minorities.
Who is the son of a former police chief in West Africa.
We want our kids to become public servants, to feel the glory of giving back to your nation.
The moment we start asking you about a crime other than to get an idea of what's happening is when you need Miranda.
The event was hands-on, as students experienced all phases of law enforcement.
We have scenarios where we put these kids in the lives of the police officer so they can see how officers respond and why they respond the way they did.
Brooklyn Park Police made a specific pitch to students of color. The city's minority population is 54%. But the police force is just 14%.
We know through our research that people of color are not seeking out law enforcement as a career choice. It is not highly sought after. And we think a lot of that is because of the fear, because of the lack of understanding of it. So we can get them to connect and go, look, you can be part of the future of policing.
The FBI was also at the expo recruiting.
We've got a lot of people who are interested in either working with us in the foreign language program as linguists or as special agents or other aspects of the FBI, such as intelligence analysts.
And a Maple Grove High student was intrigued by their message.
It's not a normal job. You never know what you're getting into, and that's like fun.
In Brooklyn Park.
From what I'm seeing, a lot of diversity, a lot of interest, and a lot of really high-skilled candidates, so it's great.
I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Besides looking for future agents, the FBI also has a need for people who speak different languages because they pursue cases all across the globe.
It is expected to be a busy year for building projects, and there are renewed warnings to make sure you know what's underground before you dig. Every year, dozens of projects are slowed down when they hit buried utility lines. A national industry trade group says an underground utility line is damaged once every 6 minutes in this country. Here, a broken gas line forced the closure of a road in Golden Valley last year when a contractor was digging underground. Another break closed a road in Brooklyn Center.
It could risk a lot, not just outages, but also their life and safety and those of their neighbors.
CenterPoint Energy says it responded to 96 gas line breaks last year in the Northwest Metro. While accidents happen, most of those utility line breaks could be avoided if a line locator like Eric Kolzinski is called to the job site. When he marks where a line is located, there are rules for digging.
The law says that they're supposed to hand dig within 2 feet of either side. So that's, 2 feet. That means that whole zone right here is supposed to be hand dug.
Centerpoint says homeowners should err on the side of caution.
That means planting a tree, doing any excavation project. It could even mean putting a real estate sign in your yard.
You can even get a kit like this from the Minnesota Office of Pipeline Safety to help outline in your yard where you plan to dig. It comes with a set of white flags and a can of white paint to show on the ground where you plan to dig. CenterPoint Energy says that's an important message in a season that's expected to be busy for construction.
We've got a lot of construction activity going on all over our communities.
And the important number to remember is 811. Call 811 2 working days before you plan to dig so you know where to dig safely. Well, get out your calendars. The annual mega sale at Brooklyn United Methodist Church is changing dates.
It's usually in mid-July, but this year it will be in June. And that means a busy group of volunteers is scrambling to make it happen.
It's mega, yes.
Every summer, the mega sale at Brooklyn United Methodist Church lives up to its name. The massive sale takes over the parking lot and fills up the church. Behind the sale, though, is an equally massive effort.
It's probably one of the greatest accomplishments this church has ever had, is putting together over 200 volunteers for this mega sale.
But what you might not realize is shortly after the summer sale wraps up,
Okay, come on down.
work begins again.
We have all these different categories when we're sorting. Wow. I tell you, we find some very interesting and fun things.
We have this fine pair of sunglasses.
A core group of 25 volunteers works almost year-round, always getting ready for the next sale.
We never know what's in the box. It's like Christmas.
Some are dedicated to sorting.
I have no idea what this is. And so then we have to say, hey girls,
Yeah.
what is this thing?
And preparing items for storage.
I wrap up all the glassware so that it doesn't get broken when it's moved. My hands are pretty dirty by the time we get through.
Just running all around the church here.
But first, everything is transported here by the pickup crew.
Usually they'll say, oh, I've got a chair and a couple of boxes, and we end up with a trailer full.
Not only the small stuff, but large items too.
We can take a large office desk out a picture window?
Out the window.
Because it doesn't fit through the doors. We get a lot of thank yous from the people we're helping, and once in a while we'll get cookies and coffee.
We do work for cookies.
Yeah.
Coffee grinder, I think.
The sale might be good for the community and good for the church.
I don't like this guy.
But as you can tell, it's good for the crew too.
It's fellowship and it's fun and so forth. Anyway, who wants to sit home when you're older? You want to come. You want to be part of all this.
And they do have fun. As noted before, the sale is moving up in the calendar. It will be June 14th through the 17th. You can tell they have a good time, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Find all sorts of good stuff. Still ahead on CCX News, another big act coming to the Hilde. We'll tell you who up next.
Plus, a seminar in Brooklyn Center to help seniors avoid being scammed. And then in sports, a Maple Grove woman earns a big award as a college golfer.
But first, very chilly on Thursday, almost March-like weather with temperatures in the 30s.
A band with prominent Twin Cities roots will be back home to perform in Plymouth. Soul Asylum will be at the Hilde Performance Center Saturday, August 19th. The band, which formed in Minneapolis in the early 80s, is out with their 11th studio album. The song you just heard, called Supersonic, is from that album. Tickets from their Plymouth show go on sale to the general public this Friday at 10 a.m. One population most vulnerable to falling victim to a scam is seniors. Today, a group of seniors learned about how to protect themselves from such a scam. Reporter Shannon Slatton has more on that in today's Money Saver.
The reason scammers target seniors is simple. They often have more money, they can access that money quickly, and they are simply home when the scammers call. That's why several organizations invited seniors to the annual Scam Jam held Wednesday at the Earl Brown Heritage Center.
how they can help other people who are more vulnerable in the community who maybe don't find it so easy to come down to the Heritage Center to learn about these issues, and they can spread the word and really be fraud fighters themselves.
Several organizations came together, including the FBI, IRS, and police, to share how scammers target seniors using phone, email, and often door-to-door solicitations. Scammers will often use pressure, threats, and play on emotions to trick seniors into cooperating. Seniors learned that if you do fall victim to a scam, agencies say you should not feel ashamed, but you should report it so others can be warned.
We don't want people to feel terrible that they've been victimized. It's actually very common, and it can happen to anyone. The important part is reporting, because then we can get the right resources behind it and we can help warn others. So by reporting, you are helping yourself and you're helping the whole community.
You can keep up with the very latest in scams by signing up for AARP's Fraud Watch Network, where you will get watchdog alerts to keep up with con artists' latest tricks. It's free of charge, and we have a link to the Fraud Watch Network on our website, ccxmedia.org. Back to you, Mike.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Still ahead, Cooper High School students put on a play based on a true Holocaust survivor story. But first, a local team will aim for its 11th consecutive state championship this spring. John Jacobson has their story next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. They may not have received the attention of programs like Hopkins basketball, Eden Prairie football, or Edina girls tennis. But as Jay Wilcox reports, there is a continuing dynasty at Wayzata in an often overlooked high school sport.
No matter how you slice it, it's an impressive run. The Wayzata Synchronized Swimming team has won 10 consecutive state titles.
It's super fun to be together, but it is stressful just because of the 10 consecutive titles. But we know what we need to do, and we just want to have a good time in the end. So, I don't know. It's crazy, but it's amazing.
Winning championships is fun, but it all starts long before the state meet, as the Wayzata girls embrace the hard work of getting ready.
The most important thing for us is that we all put in a lot of really hard work, and we're all really dedicated to the team and come here day after day and really put our best foot forward every day, not just at the end at the competitions. It's hard work throughout the whole season and everyone really working together.
It's interesting because we are very competitive with each other also, so we have small routines on the side of team routines, and we're always trying to be oh, if we work really hard, maybe we can get close to them, but then in the end that makes us all better.
As they pursue title number 11, it's so far so good this spring.
I think it's gone really well, yeah. We've been working super hard to get our routines done this year. I think it's been going just like the other seasons have been going, just striving hard and making sure that we're trying to get ready for state in a month.
On this day, the Trojans are competing against Hopkins in a routines meet.
Right now, what's most important, I think, is really seeing what we need to work on, things that could be fixed, how we can fix things to make it look better. Kind of getting in that practice of being in a competition mode and putting our best into the swim and not just kind of going through the motions. It really gives us a chance to work on swimming perfectly as we can.
I think the most important thing to take out of a meet like this is just making sure that we're all ready to swim under pressure and just kind of getting the feel of having those before swim nerves and things like that. Just trying to see where your routine is at and where judges are thinking it's at right now, and just taking that feedback and putting it back into our routines.
Looks like they have the formula down to pursue another championship at Wayzata. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Trojans beat Hopkins 37-8 in their meet Tuesday. The state meet is Friday, May 26th. Well, this week's rain and cold isn't helping much for most spring sports teams and athletes. A lot of rainouts and postponements, although lacrosse players usually slog through the tough weather. Like at Breck School Tuesday for boys lacrosse, as Breck hosted the Trimac co-op program. Reed Goldstein slicing through the Blackhawks defense and scores. Mustangs up 3-0 in the first quarter. Second quarter, Arlo Zellickson to Gavin Hopping. He scores for a 5-0 Breck lead as they go for their first win of the season. Brendan Matson takes the pass, gets free to score from a tough angle. And the Mustangs are up 8-0. Third quarter, Goldstein with a sweet pass to Dylan Vincent, and the freshman finishes for a goal and an 11-2 advantage. Mustangs go on to win 17-6. Breck is now 1-3. A former state champion golfer from the northwest suburbs is now part of a championship women's golf team, and she won a prestigious individual honor as well. 2014 Wayzata High School graduate Sarah Burnham and her Michigan State teammates captured the Big Ten title at the TPC Rivers Bend course in Mainville, Ohio. 2 days later, Burnham was named Big Ten Player of the Year. The Spartans junior finished second in the Big Ten tournament and shot a tournament record score of 63 in the second round. On the season, she's on pace to break her own school scoring record for scoring average at 72.17 strokes per round. Michigan State's conference title earned the Spartans an automatic bid into the NCAA regionals. Great season for her and her team. That's it for sports. Mike and Shannon, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. Up next, a Cooper play based on a true Holocaust survivor story.
We will take you behind the scenes of hiding in the open when we come back.
Well, finally, Cooper High School is doing their spring show about a local Twin Cities Holocaust survivor whose true story was made into a play.
Students say this local connection gives this play special meaning. Neil Persley has more.
Mr. St. Paul History Theater wrote the play, so it's a hometown play.
We need to talk about Hitler. I don't want to think about him, but we must.
The Cooper High School Theater Department under Gretchen Werzer just keeps getting better and better, and this spring they tackle Hiding in the Open, a locally written play about a Holocaust survivor who is still living here in the Twin Cities.
No one is to be trusted.
Hiding in the Open is a story about two sisters living in a Jewish ghetto in Poland who survived the war by pretending to be Catholic and escaping to Germany to work for the duration of the war. In her last play at Cooper, senior Marley Ritchie plays Helka, Sabina Zimmering's younger sister.
She doesn't hide what she's feeling. If I'm angry, I'll show that I'm angry. And if I'm scared, I'll show that I'm scared. I have no filter, basically. Helka's a very curious little sister, and she's really nosy in Sabina's business.
You've been kissed? Who kissed you? Sabina, you have to tell me everything.
Josh Levitt plays the father.
One of the big things that really drew us to it was Sabina Zimmering. It's her actual life story, and she's actually lives in Minnesota. She's a doctor now. She's, I think, 92 in that range.
This play is done in 3 quarters, so it's a very intimate play.
With this show, you have that organic feel, and you can feel what the actors are going through, because we're on your lap the whole time.
Is something wrong?
And I would say it works very well. From Cooper High School in New Hope, Neil Persley, CCX News.
In a very vague way that...
And the play runs tonight through Friday night.
And that'll do it for us right now. We'll see you back here again on Thursday.